Oh, he's over here.
What's going on, everybody?
We also have Coach Jacob with us. And this is going to be a really special episode. There's something coming up soon. I know Jacob's ready for it. I'm pretty excited for it.
I'm super excited. I can't wait.
Yeah,
And let
and
me,
what we're talking about is the NFL football season. I am a big football fan. So is Jacob. I've known Jacob a while, and they're always fun, right? You
oh,
gotta love them, right?
I don't know.
So,
You're a little biased to the Raiders at times, but yes, you're correct.
oh, yeah. So like Jacob just kind of gave it away. I'm a big Raiders fan. I try not to be biased, but I think they're gonna be pretty good this year. I really do. I don't think they're gonna be great. Pretty good. But Jacob, what team do you follow? Just for the people watching out there.
I am a Carolina Panthers fan.
Ooh.
Yep,
Why did you choose that?
it's that's an interesting story. I was always as a kid, I was always full of energy, and um, I was always running around and jumping off of things. And my grandma used to yell at me in Spanish. Um, Bájate, Pantera Negra, like get off of there, you Black Panther, because I was jumping up and down off the couches and everything all the time. My family was trying to turn me into a Cowboys fan, and I just wanted to pick my own team. So I gravitated towards the Panthers, and maybe that was why, because my grandma used to call me that.
Interesting. That's a pretty cool story. My story is a lot more boring. It just everyone in my family is a Raiders fan, and just kind of what I was born into. It's just what I know, right? It's what I realized my door wasn't shut. Sorry about that. But it's just what I'm used to. And I grew up watching the Raiders and just never stopped. Never stopped. So we're going to talk about a couple different things. We're going to talk about football season. Maybe we both can pick a team. I'm throwing this on Jacob right now, but we both can pick a team that we think will surprise people. And the rule is we cannot pick our own team because I will say the Raiders otherwise.
Okay, we can't pick our own team.
We can't pick our own team. So
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about my team yet. There's a lot of change going on, so I'm not going to pick our own team. A surprise team. I think Seattle's done some pretty interesting things, but one team I kind of want to go. I kind of want to go maybe Buffalo.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. Honestly, I was about to say Buffalo.
I want to say Buffalo. I think they're definitely their whole environment, their whole culture there has changed, and they're definitely a different team than what they're usually known for, what they used to be known for. Did they make the playoffs this last year?
I believe they did, behind Josh Allen.
Yeah. So
remember Josh Allen had that crazy playoff game?
Yes, that's right. So it's a good jump for them, considering in the division that they're in, it's hard to make the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely is.
It could be their time to take over that division. They could be, they could be the ones from now. I know that. It hurts me to say that Cam is on the Patriots now. They're not the same team. We'll see how they do. Maybe he's going to bring a new dimension to that offense. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, and that's going to be an interesting division.
I mean, the Patriots, I believe, I don't quote on this, but I believe they had the most players opt in our world. So not only are they losing their quarterback, but they're also losing a lot of other key pieces that just make the whole team go, right? Like if you think about it as a car engine, like there's some pieces more crucial than others, but you could be missing a small piece and just throws off all your team chemistry and everything.
Yeah.
Exactly. But the reason I was going to defend their defense is elite. Mm-hmm. They have a great defense. Watch that defense play. Physical, they're fast. They're really good. They really are. They're really talented. They demand the respect. Thinking about respect are the core values, but they demand the respect of the other teams. Like when teams come into Buffalo, they're not thinking like, oh, we're just going to run all over these guys. We're going to throw it over their heads. They're like, we're going to have to grind this game out. Like this game's going to be a hard game. Like you're not going to get an easy win against the Buffalo Bills, especially not with Josh Allen, who, I mean, I was not the biggest Josh Allen fan after watching him get drafted.
I'm not a big fan of him either, but he's shown that he's capable. He's got some athleticism. He
really
can run the ball a little bit too. He's a
Yeah,
big body. He can take some hits. He can deliver. So
he's really turned it around because when he first came up, he really turned it around because when he first came up, he was really struggling for a while. But granted, Buffalo
yeah,
didn't have the most offensive talent around him, but they're starting to get some pieces. They have Devin Singletary, the running back.
yep.
Yeah,
Is he
he's
second
there.
year? Second or third
Who?
year?
Yeah, it's a second year. He got drafted last year. They also just traded for Stephon Diggs, so
That's
he has
right.
another elite receiver. So that
Mm-hmm.
offense is coming together, and we saw him put in work in the playoffs last year. So with the Patriots not being the same team they are, the Dolphins and Jets both maybe being two of the worst teams in the league, there's a lot of potential for the Bills to win that division, man. But since you
Some
said,
people might put the Dolphins in that surprising team category.
yeah, I'm not willing to go there.
I wouldn't be surprised if they make a push for not necessarily the playoffs, but for at least up there in their division.
You
They're
know,
not they're not as bad as people might think. They're really really young.
a
They're
team
really really young.
make a rebound is the Atlanta Falcons. Like they never lost the talent. They just had injuries and kind of went through a rough patch. Their defense definitely got worse than it was during their Super Bowl run. But I think that dude, they added Todd Gurley. That offense, like, how are you going to stop the
Yeah,
Atlanta Falcons? Julio Jones. They have their new Roddy White and Ridley. Dude, they always had two dominant receivers, and they're back to that with Calvin Ridley. Matt Ryan, I think, is very underappreciated in the NFL. He's just very good at doing his job.
mm-hmm.
And you pair that with Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley got a lot of hate because of that knee injury in Los Angeles. They thought he was done, and
That's a tough division though too though.
It definitely is.
And you got Drew Brees who coming off a pretty strong year, and
Tom Brady
doesn't show signs of slowing down, and so he's holding it in New Orleans, and then Tom Brady just moved into Tampa Bay, so that's going to be interesting to see. Carolina right now we're chugging along. That's all I'm going to say, and then seeing the Falcons pick up Todd Gurley is a huge piece, and that can make the difference between the direction of take the division this year. He's a player, and hopefully he rebounds. He didn't have that great of a year. He didn't have that. He was decent, but I know injuries slowed him down a little bit, and
he definitely still has a lot.
I hope he does bounce back, even though he's technically on my rival team now. So.
Yeah, I think Todd Gurley is definitely someone who has a lot left to give to the NFL. I don't think it's his time yet. If we're looking at that division, you definitely didn't really talk much about your Panthers. What's their quarterback situation looking like?
Got Teddy Bridgewater at the helm.
Oh yeah, I forgot Teddy Bridgewater went there.
He's solid. I'm not mad at the fact that I think he's a good. But I can't elaborate anymore. It hurts me too much. But we should have paid Cam. But either way, so I'm interested to see how the offense is going to be, how this new team is going to be. We got a new coach, and there's a lot of new pieces to this team. There's a lot to this team, and I feel like the whole style and dynamic is going to be a little different. But I'm pretty excited about it as well. Yeah, because I want to see the potential, and then the fact that we have Christian McCaffrey in the backfield is tremendous. That's huge, and that's going to make back for this new offense. I'm just hoping that it doesn't turn like we become a rebuilding team in 9 years.
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater, he was definitely someone when he was in Minnesota, because he got drafted the same year as our Teddy Bridgewater debate. Who was the better quarterback? Because Bridgewater was the first-round pick. Derek Carr was like the beginning of the second round. And honestly, Bridgewater was really good.
Who's the better quarterback in your opinion?
Well, right now I would say it's Carr. But at the time when the discussion, Teddy Bridgewater, it was definitely neck and neck. Like, I wouldn't say one was better than the other. But, now Teddy Bridgewater is horrific knee injury and a couple years removed from that old Teddy Bridgewater. So we haven't seen him play significant time since then. We saw him a little bit on the Saints last year.
Yeah.
And
I think he only played
really looked like the same quarterback. Yeah, I don't remember how many, but it really wasn't that many games. And like you have to think about the playbook the New Orleans Saints have and all the playmakers they have, and he really didn't do much. So that's what scares me. I hope.
Well, I wouldn't, because I think he won all the games that he started. I think he won.
He did. He
went in there and he did.
He did his job.
Had to do.
It was kind of like,
I can't expect him to be Drew Brees.
You remember Alex Smith on the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Like he never really put up crazy stats, but he won.
Oh, I'm a fan of Alex Smith.
Yeah, no, I am too. Alex Smith is a winner. But that's what I'm saying is like I think Teddy Bridgewater's kind of in that Alex Smith conversation where they're really good players and they know how to win games, and they're not always going to look great in like the stat box. But at the end of the day, when you're winning the game, is it really the stat box that matters? I mean, talk about perseverance. Both those guys, Alex Smith and Teddy Bridgewater, the perseverance they both have gone through.
I like that, Brian, because last time you said facts, and right now you just stats matter if you win. They don't.
Oh no, stats still matter. Trust me. We'll get into stats matter later.
Fantasy football talk.
Ooh, we're going to talk about some fantasy football? Is that what
it is? Time.
So that's
what our position rankings. Who do you have at this? Let's see. Who do you think is going to go number one overall?
Who do I landed it? Or who am I taking if I have the number one pick?
Well, who do you think, or who are you?
I think
both.
I think Christian McCaffrey has to be the number one pick, right? I mean,
and that's what I think, and that's where I would go.
He has an insane amount of talent. That offense doesn't really have any other options. I mean, they have some receivers. Like, we got DJ Moore. I'll give you that.
He's going to touch the ball so much.
But it's all about offensive touches. And I wouldn't be bad if someone took Saquon Barkley with the number one pick because I think they're the better offense.
Mm-hmm. You think so?
I think Daniel Jones is gonna have a breakout year. I'm throwing that out. I think Daniel Jones will have a better year than Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, I'm not saying Daniel Jones is.
I'm not going to argue that.
I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be elite by any means, but I think he will be better than what the Panthers have to offer. And I think the Giants' offense as a whole will score more. And you know how fantasy football works. I mean, 60 yards and 1 touchdown is the same. So if you're telling me an offense is going to score more and Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey are both amazing talents, I'm kind of leaning towards the offense that might score a little more.
But who do they have? Who do they have on the outside? Like, who are their wideouts?
Here, let me look this up real quick because honestly, I don't know off the top of my head.
Some wideouts that are, they might not be like big names right now. We got DJ Moore, like you said.
DJ Moore,
he's probably a bigger name because he was a high draft pick. But we have Curtis Samuel, who multiple teams have been trying to take off our hands.
Samuel's
he got rejected. So I was really happy to see that, I was really happy to see some like loyalty to our players that, what I mean? Tired of seeing players getting traded all the time.
They have a good offense. I'm not saying the Panthers don't. The Panthers have all the playmakers, right? They have them all. But I don't think Bridgewater is going to put the ball downfield.
I've been watching a lot of practice clips and stuff like that. I'm actually interested to see how he does. I was never too high on him, but he does have abilities.
Who is this?
Robbie Anderson.
Oh, yeah, no, Robbie Anderson. Oh, he signed with the Panthers?
Yeah.
That's interesting. There was talks about the Raiders getting him this offseason, actually. They went a different direction. But he's definitely a deep downfield threat. And it's interesting because I don't know the ball downfield. And to me, that makes a big impact. Because throwing the ball downfield is necessary to open up the underneath for McCaffrey. And that's one thing Daniel Jones will do. I mean, you look at the Giants, they have Golden Tate, Sterling Shepard, and Darius Slayton. None of those names are going to blow you off. I mean, Golden Tate's pretty solid. Golden Tate's been around a while. The Lions, the Seahawks, Golden Tate's always been someone who gets the job done. He's just not a Julio Jones type of receiver. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they have Evan Ingram, who definitely is more like a wide receiver at tight end. Like, that guy he's a freak athlete. Some of those tight ends, like, they're just – Ingram's someone I hope can put it together because I think he has the potential to become a top 5 tight end eventually, which would be cool to see.
Yeah, it would be. You know,
I don't know about picking Barkley over McCaffrey, but I see the argument. I think, like I said, McCaffrey – especially if you're in a league that gives you a point for catching the ball, it's hard to say it's not McCaffrey.
PPR league, you have to take McCaffrey. He's going to be receiving so much. He's going to be taking handoffs. Like, it's crazy. You're talking about touches, and you're going to choose Barkley over McCaffrey. If you're talking straight running only, yes. But you got to think about the passing.
Scoring.
He's the second other running back to have 1,000 rushing and receiving in the same season.
And that was last year, and this is a new year.
Yeah.
But from running back, I want to know, who do you think is the number 1 receiver? Who's the first receiver? If you have to take a receiver with the first pick, who are you taking?
If I have to take a receiver with my very first pick?
Yeah, like, well, you're drafting the first receiver off the board. Who are you taking?
It's hard to kind of go against the obvious. Like, it's going to be apparent that, like, the Michael Thomas and Julio Jones are those top guys.
Yeah.
How do you not go Michael Thomas considering how much he touched the ball, especially if you're in a PPR league?
I'm for sure what anyone else is doing. You tell me I have to take a receiver and they're all on the board, I'm taking Michael Thomas.
Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty apparent.
Julio Jones. Like, I'm definitely taking Julio.
He had last season. It's hard to pass on Michael Thomas as the first wide receiver.
Yeah, no, I think Michael Thomas is really good. I think Julio Jones is definitely the second wide receiver off the board. The only problem with Julio Jones is, like, that offense has a lot of playmakers, man. They traded for a tight end, and they love to feature their tight end. They brought in Todd Gurley. They have Calvin Ridley. Like, there's a lot of mouths to feed in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I'm kind of tempted to say the receiver.
You think so?
I think so, man. Just because who else does Aaron Rodgers have in Green Bay? Aaron Jones, that's it. Like, all those
I think Devontae Adams is going to have a good year. But you know who I kind of think, and a lot of people are probably going to say, maybe even, like, they might go Tyreek Hill, or they might go
potential.
Huh?
Big play potential.
Yeah. Or they might go like,
I talked about how scoring means everything.
Yeah, they might go like Chris Godwin, or like even Mike Evans, because Tom Brady's there now. But
I want to say something about Chris Godwin.
Here's where I would go.
And Mike. I want to talk about this Bucs offense.
Hold on, there's one person I haven't mentioned yet.
Hopkins. You're talking about Hopkins, aren't
you? DeAndre.
Yeah, Hopkins.
That could be interesting.
I'm hesitant. Not because of Hopkins, the talent. Hopkins, the talent, might be the best receiver in the league. But can Kyler Murray get him the ball consistently?
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention. Now, he was Rookie of the Year. I won't say anything. I don't know if he should have gotten that, but he was Rookie of the Year. You know, he's a winning guy. He knows how to win games.
Josh Jacobs.
So he can make things happen. I'm interested to see how that's going to happen. You know, DeAndre Hopkins and Larry Legend.
You know,
both lining up together would be interesting.
Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a lot of playmakers, and that offense, Cliff Kingsbury, I believe, is their head coach. He's all about getting a lot of plays in, right? That fast-paced offense. So, I mean, it could either go really well for Hopkins. I feel like he's going to finish like top 3 or he's going to be like barely in the top 20. I don't think there's an in between for Hopkins this year.
Yeah. I just want to throw this out there. DJ Moore is in the top 10
for receivers.
Just want to throw that out there for receivers. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. I did not see that coming. But I wanted to talk about this Tampa Bay offense, right? They brought in Tom Brady. They brought in Gronkowski. And then Godwin is still in the top 10 receivers. Is Mike Evans is in the top 10 receivers.
They're both on the rankings that I'm looking at right here. They're both back to back, 6 and 7 consecutively.
So I do not think there's almost zero chance in my mind they both finish top 10.
I agree.
Like Tom Brady, I mean, while being good the last couple of years, like if you've watched the Patriots, they have not been the same Patriots when Tom Brady was in his like there. It is a different Tom Brady we're watching now than when Tom Brady was Tom Brady. Like you get what I mean by that. Like the Randy Moss day Brady, not the same Tom Brady we watch anymore. Brady.
Okay, I just read something this morning.
Yeah,
something just came across my desk, and it said that the whole environment in Tampa, or not in Tampa, I'm sorry, in New England has changed since Cam got there. They were saying the past 2 years, Tom Brady didn't show up to the OTAs. They were voluntary, obviously, and that he wasn't all in as he used to be.
Yeah.
And the difference now is Cam is in. He's the first one in the gym, first one in the locker room, and the last one out.
Yeah.
Every single time.
I mean, Cam's a good player.
And then I'm interested to see though, and I wish I had some insight on Tampa's locker room and how that is.
Yeah.
How is it over there?
Dude, I just want to bring up something you kind of said real quick about Cam Newton. I feel like he is a great buy low, high reward type of guy in fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, we don't know what that Patriots offense is going to get. And the reason I say buy low is like, I know you might take Cam Newton a little early because you're a little biased. He's like probably your favorite modern day football player other than Luke Kuechly. But, sorry, I'm just bringing up all the guys who left the Panthers. But he's someone if you get later in drafts, I don't even think middle of the draft because there's too much risk involved. But if you take a flyer on him late, I mean, we don't know what that Patriots offense can be. And even Tom Brady, he hasn't been great the past couple of years, but he's still finished top 15, top 20 most years in fantasy football.
He's always dependable. I was rocking him. I was rocking Tom Brady on my fantasy team.
Who's more athletic in that role. I mean, we used to see Tom Brady get a lot of QB sneaks. Now we're putting Cam Newton in that role. Like, I'm excited for it. But I think this will definitely show how good Belichick is as a coach. If he's able to get Cam Newton productive, get this offense productive, I think that, like, not that there's any discussion if Belichick is a Hall of Fame coach, because with as many Super Bowls as he's won, he's already in. But I think if he really wants to flex how good of a coach he is, now is a better time than ever.
I agree with that.
Coming back to this Buccaneers offense, that there's like zero chance. I think I don't even think super hot take here. I don't think Godwin or Evans finishes top 10.
Neither.
Okay, so it's not that hot of a take.
No. I'm saying you don't think either of them are.
Nope, neither. I think Godwin might finish top 15. You know, it depends.
Who's going to finish higher?
I think Godwin will finish higher. And my reasoning even though I think Evans is maybe the better receiver, Evans is a deep threat and has always been a deep threat.
But so is Godwin.
Godwin is a much more of a possession style receiver though than Evans.
He does have a really good route running ability.
And who does Brady throw the ball to? He throws the ball to the possession receivers who catch it. Think about every receiver. The only receiver that doesn't fit that role that Brady's really vibed with is Randy Moss. And I mean, no knock on Mike Evans, because I think Mike Evans is a great down the field receiver. He's no Randy Moss though.
Yeah.
And Tom Brady's not that same Tom Brady. So, and another thing about it is Tom Brady loves to throw the ball to receivers that are open, right? Mike Evans has made his career off Winston throwing the ball and jump balls, and he's just going up and beating the cornerback. If Mike Evans isn't open, Tom Brady's not going to throw it to him. He's not going to be throwing that jump ball like Winston would throw. So I think Evans is going to –
It'll be interesting.
And then Gronkowski. He's going to do anything?
Gronk?
Yeah, he's back.
He's back.
Do you think he's more of a decoy at this point in his career, or do you think he'll actually put up numbers?
It's hard to say. He's been out how long?
It's only been like 2 years, year and a half.
2 years, right?
Yeah, 2 years.
It's hard to say, but
the report coming out is that he's faster than ever.
But I was gonna say, as long as he maintains shape and it's hard to just stray away from his natural athletic ability.
Yeah, for sure.
So he's definitely gonna make an impact for that team no matter what. But to what extent, I don't know. Is he gonna be the Gronk of the old? No, but is he probably gonna be an upgrade from what they did have? I think it's easy to. Who did they have before? Cameron Brate?
Yeah, but see another.
He's good.
They have OJ Howard, man, and he's still.
He's kind of been a disappointment though.
Just because the offense, you have to remember, like,
it's a good opportunity because OJ Howard is still young. It's a good opportunity for him to learn from him.
I honestly think OJ Howard's best chance now is to get traded. I mean, with Brady and Gronk there, I don't think he has much of a. But I mean, the Patriots offense did thrive with 2 tight ends before, so maybe we can see this Bucs offense thrive.
We won't mention the other name, but the 2 tight end combo was pretty good.
They were talented when they were good, man. But I want to. So do you have some rankings in front of you?
I do.
So on the rankings in front of you, where is Devontae Parker ranked?
Oh, I was just looking at him, and if I'm not mistaken, Devontae Parker he's about 17.
That I don't. Why? Why is Devontae Parker so low? And that might surprise you because he's on the Dolphins.
I'm sorry. Let me change that. Not 17, 27.
27. Why is he so low?
Let me tell you something about Parker. I picked that man up in the final weeks. I needed a receiver. I can't remember who I had. I had too many injuries on my team. I'm over here racing to not finish last because I didn't want to face the last place punishment. So I picked up Devontae Parker, and he was phenomenal.
So did you know
He was magnificent. He won me multiple games, and I even remember some comments being there, you only won because of this receiver. Well, that's all it took. Devontae, I would be forever in your debt.
Yeah, so Devontae Parker finished as a top 5 receiver last year, I believe.
Yeah.
How do you go from finishing as a top 5 receiver to getting ranked 27th the next year?
It's because he had a tough first half, but that second half of the season he just started killing it. And I picked him up right when he started going off is when I picked him up. So I got him perfect timing.
Dude, so last year the Dolphins, their quarterback situation was just kind of who's healthy, right? Like they didn't really have people last year, and now they have Fitzpatrick and they have Tua. I think Fitzpatrick was there last year, but they have Tua, and Fitzpatrick will probably start the season because every team Fitzpatrick is on. You have to see the early season Fitz magic. You just have to see it, right? But I think Tua eventually takes over, and I mean, I'm excited to watch Tua play. I don't know about you. But I'm really excited to watch Tua play, see what he could do.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing.
Because he was electric in college.
I haven't heard too many updates on him. How is he doing with his injury?
They don't think he'll be fully ready for the first game. But not because he can't, just because he got a late start on practices because of the injury. So they think it'll take a couple weeks to get in. So we got to watch Fitz magic for a while.
Here's a little hot take for you. Where do you think AJ Green lands?
Dude, that AJ Green, the last 2 years, nobody has known. And It depends because you have Joe
He's
Burrow.
like one of those players you're like, oh my God, I have AJ Green. He can do amazing. And then you're like, oh my God, I have AJ Green, but I can't trade him away because he's amazing, but he's never playing.
So the crazy part is for the longest time he was healthy though. And then just over the last 2 years he hasn't been able to stay there healthy. But what's crazy to me is you have Joe Burrow there now, who I don't know if you're gonna argue this, but Joe Burrow, upgrade on Andy Dalton. That should be
We'll
I
see.
like,
We'll
I like
see.
Andy Dalton.
That's a pretty tough thing to say, considering he hasn't played a single professional game yet.
Yes, but Andy Dalton has been very underwhelming for a good amount of years now. He had his years where he was good, but he is just not that good the last couple of years. And that offense, man, you look about the talent that offense has. Who's the receiver? They have John Ross. He has all that speed. Like John Ross is a offensive weapon. You have AJ Green. You have Joe Mixon. Like they have a lot of talent on that offense. Like you get a quarterback working, that could be a scary team. And I think AJ Green is a huge part about that. So he's one of those. He's kind of like a high risk, high reward type of guy because you're not going to be able to get him that late. Like you'll get him late, not like top 3 rounds. He'll be definitely 7th, 8th round type guy, maybe even later. But you have to spend some decent draft capital on him, and you might not even get him for a single game.
Yeah.
So that's definitely scary, man.
So pick a number. Where do you think he landed?
Where do I think AJ Green lands?
Yes.
On the rankings currently?
Currently.
He's probably like wide receiver 37.
33. Good guess.
Okay.
Good guess.
Let me go see. I'm looking at some different rankings than Coach Jacob, so I'm going to see where he's at on mine. Oh, he's at 32 on mine.
Yep.
Ooh, the guy in front of him is interesting, though. Marquise Brown.
Hollywood
Brown on the Baltimore Ravens. What do you think about him?
I like him.
You like Hollywood Brown?
I like him.
That offense will be interesting to see if they can keep up their same momentum from last year because they were electric last year. I mean, Lamar Jackson was unstoppable. Mark Ingram, unstoppable. Like, they were blowing opponents out at ease. Like, fourth quarter, we saw RG3 every fourth quarter because the Baltimore Ravens, they're up by 30 again. Like, that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
So, it'll be interesting if teams have kind of out, or do they come back with that same energy?
Say it again?
I said it'll be interesting if teams figured them out or they come back with that same energy.
Yeah. Have you done your homework on your drafts?
I have not. I'm very.
So it's safe to say your level of confidence isn't very high.
In what?
In your draft.
I'll figure it out. I always do. I have some time. I got 5 days.
I wanted to go towards who do you think what position do you think is valued the most in this year's draft? You notice it flexes every year.
Back receiver.
Sometimes it's more so running backs. Sometimes it's more so receivers. And then you'll have an occasional like quarterback in the top rankings here and there. But what position is the position to own? Typically you own.
Are you talking about early in draft?
Receivers, you have two running backs and a flex. What position should that flex player be?
Yeah, I mean, typically you always want the more good running backs you can get, the better because they're a lot more scarce and they're easier to project. Like you can have a starting receiver, but you have to remember at times there's 2, 3, even 4 receivers on a field. So receiver, while you can like predict for the elite ones, when you get to the mid-range receivers, it's kind of up in the air. But running backs, if you're the starting running back, odds are you're getting at least 65, 75, 80% of the workload, if not more, right? So typically the more solid running backs you can get on your team, the better. The thing I find interesting this year about this draft is we have guys like Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
I was gonna say
he's a rookie.
He's top 10. What is he ranked on yours?
He's ranked running back 7 on mine. Number
7 on mine as well. That's interesting.
Number 9 overall.
That's interesting.
Why? What do you have?
No, I have him exactly the same spot, but it
I-
just goes to show like how scarce this running back position is for like an elite type of a back right now. There's
Yeah.
not many of them anymore. There
And-
used to be a bunch of them.
Yep. Because we see a lot more split backfields this year. You don't see a guy getting 100% of the carries. And that's why a guy like Nick Chubb, who's a really good talent, is all the way down at running back 10th on mine, 14 overall. But the reason is he has Kareem Hunt there taking half the play time. Or maybe a little less than half the play time, but it's a split backfield.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that become a lot more of the norm. So you see these real true bell cow running backs, the guys who get all the workload at the top of these fantasy drafts because you want one of those guys. There's only like 6 or 7 of them. So Edwards-Helaire is in an Andy Reid offense. Andy Reid's running backs typically do well. So people are putting faith in the running back. But I'm the guy who's always...
He's a rookie.
I'm the guy who's always scared of rookie.
Gets me. We'll see.
We saw Saquon go in the first round. We saw Zeke go in the first round.
We did. So,
it's a trend.
There's a couple rookies actually out there that are they might do some damage.
Oh yeah, for sure this year. I think quarterback will be an interesting one with Tua and Joe Burrow. See if either of them can step up.
Mm-hmm.
Wide receiver, I can't think of anyone. There's Henry Ruggs. There's a lot of good receivers that came out this year. Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy. Who's the other guys? I'm blanking on their names, but there was like 4 or 5 of them drafted in the first round, wasn't there?
Yeah, there's a few of them. So we'll see.
I'm trying to find all their names right now. They're pretty far down in the rankings.
How do you feel? I feel like a lot of people
CD
like him because he still has his name to him. Le'Veon Bell. Do or don't? Do you draft him? Do you not?
I wouldn't draft him, but not because of Le'Veon Bell. I wouldn't draft him because Adam Gase is his quarterback, his head coach.
Oof.
And I think Adam Gase might be the worst coach in the NFL. That's a hot take.
That's a hot take.
Think about Adam Gase's days in Miami. He had no fantasy relevant players whatsoever. And now he's gone to the Jets, even though he has a talent like Le'Veon Bell. If you look at the Jets offense last year, Le'Veon Bell was completely misused. That dude has the talent to still be a top 5 running back in the NFL, but he's on the Adam Gase offense in New York and definitely did not look that way last year.
All right, let's play a little game here, okay? We're gonna do a couple different positions. I'm gonna throw you a couple quarterbacks, a couple receivers, a couple tight ends, a couple running backs, and I'm gonna give you a scenario, and you're gonna tell me if you're buying or if you're selling. Okay? If you agree with it, you're buying. If you don't, you're selling. Okay? Yeah. Simple, right?
I got it. Let me drink some water.
All right, here we go. Buy or sell. Mark Ingram finishing in the top 20 of running backs.
Top 20?
Mark Ingram.
I would have to buy that.
Buy that.
He was top 10 easy last year. Top 20.
He was, but then he started splitting a little bit of time as well.
Yeah, but that's because they were blowing everyone out.
Yeah, they were.
So
I have him. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy top 20. He's ranked 26th.
Yeah, no, I can see that, and I know why. It's because they drafted a running back this year.
Yeah.
So they're worried that running back they drafted is going to eat into his workload, which maybe, but Mark Ingram was amazing last year. If you watched him play, he was playing so well. Him and Lamar Jackson were playing off of each other incredibly well. I don't see a situation where Lamar Jackson isn't wanting Mark Ingram in that backfield with him.
Okay, here's another one. Finishing in top 20.
Okay.
Finishing in top 20 as well. Devin Singletary, Buffalo Bills.
I'm going to sell this one.
Okay.
Well, is this PPR or is this like half point PPR?
Well, this would be PPR.
If it's full point PPR, I'll buy it. Just because he's kind of a receiving back. But in half point or standard, I'd sell it. And even at PPR, I think it's really close. And the reason is they were using Frank Gore with him last year. And that scares me right there, because as good as he was, they were still bringing Frank Gore, who is not the same Frank Gore from his Niners days. Current day Frank Gore does not look very fast, does not look very explosive at all. So the fact they were bringing him in scares me, man. And then they drafted a running back this year who's a bigger running back and looks like a more athletic, younger Frank Gore type. So, and that's in Zach Moss, that's his name. But that scares me because Singletary might become like almost a Darren Sproles type of player, where he'll get a couple rushes here, but he's going to be huge in the receiving game. I think Singletary will definitely be fantasy relevant because the way Josh Allen plays, Singletary plays off that well. I just don't know if he gets enough touches to say top 20.
Singletary is ranked 22nd in PPR, 23rd in non-PPR formats.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're pretty close. It could be a hit or miss.
For sure.
All right, here we go.
I'm ready.
Last of the running back position. We're going to go big name now.
Okay.
Ezekiel Elliott finishing top 5. Buy or sell?
I'll buy that. I mean, if the Cowboys are going to win, they need to feed Zeke. They need to let him eat. Isn't that what it does? He eats.
There we go.
They need to let Zeke eat if they want to win out there. So
he eats his Wheaties.
If Ezekiel Elliott is not finishing in the top 5, I don't think the Cowboys had a good season. That's what I'll say. But with how much talent that offense has, there's no reason Zeke isn't producing, and there's no reason they're not a good team this year.
It's going to be interesting to see that team. It definitely will be. All right, here we go.
Quick hot take about the Cowboys, though.
Go ahead.
Amari Cooper won't be their number 1 receiver this year.
Ooh, who will be?
It'd probably be Gallup if it's not Cooper. But I think with them drafting CeeDee Lamb, them having Michael Gallup break out last year, and Amari Cooper, I don't think Amari Cooper is that normal Amari Cooper type of receiver we have. And I mean, I'm a huge Cooper fan. He came from the Raiders. I love watching Amari Cooper play. He's one of the better route runners in the league. But there's something about Cooper that he just doesn't blow up like he should, and he hasn't yet. I mean, I'd love to be proved wrong, but I think Michael Gallup might finish as their number 1 receiver this year.
Wow, interesting. That was going to actually lead me to my next question. Our next buy or sell is Amari Cooper finishing top 10.
I'm selling that real quick. I mean, I just told you I don't think he's finishing as the number 1 receiver. I guess I should have waited for you to say it, but
I was literally reading the name and it's like, this is who I'm going to get because he's a former Raider and Brian will love it. So
I'm selling super quick.
Guess where he's ranked?
It's probably right around there, maybe just outside of top 10 or something.
It is. He's ranked 12.
Yeah.
He is ranked 12. Now, here's another one. Top 20. Is he finishing in the top 20? Terry McLaurin.
Terry McLaurin.
From Washington.
Terry?
Washington football team. Scary
Terry. Their quarterback's Haskins, right? With potentially Alex Smith. He's coming back, but I've heard, there's that guy Pro Football Doc on Twitter. He talks about a lot of the injuries. He used to be a team doctor for the San Diego Chargers. And he was kind of talking about the psychological aspects that might hinder Alex Smith coming back to what Alex Smith was, which I guess is the rough truth regarding that situation. But let's assume Haskins is the quarterback. Haskins was incredibly underwhelming last year while Scary Terry put up numbers. So you're saying top 20? Was that the question?
Is he going to break out into the top 20?
I want to say yes. I want to see Scary Terry do it. I don't know if it'll happen. I don't know if I draft him as a top 20 receiver on my team. I probably wouldn't. But, I want to see it happen, so I'll buy it.
He is ranked 23.
Okay.
He's ranked 23rd. Here's another one for our wide receivers. I'm going to give you 2 of them, okay? They're both ranked consecutively next to each other.
And I have to pick one?
No. But do you think this is a buy or sell for both of them? Okay. I think both of them have similar scenarios. They're ranked pretty closely. They're both around, similar type of like build. They're both big guys. Cortland Sutton and AJ Brown.
What was the second name? I couldn't hear you.
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown.
Tennessee. Tennessee. They're both ranked consecutive next to each other. Do you buy or sell that either one of these two breaks out into the top 15?
Top 15? If I had to pick one, AJ Brown for sure. I think AJ
Brown. I was kind of going for Cortland Sutton.
Really? So the thing that worries me about Cortland Sutton is they just drafted Jerry Jeudy in the first round. Jerry Jeudy is an amazing wide receiver at Alabama. He has all the route running abilities in the world. And I'm not as confident in what's their Broncos quarterback's name? Drew Lock. I'm not as confident in Drew Lock as I am in Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill looked really good last year. Really good last year. And with Derrick Henry there, teams aren't going to be able to just like they got to kind of pack the box against Derrick Henry. They can't put all those guys in coverage.
Oh man!
The Broncos got Melvin Gordon. So Melvin Gordon is definitely another type of running back where you have to worry about. Not on the Derrick Henry type level, but you got to worry about Melvin Gordon. So I don't know. Cortland Sutton was never someone I was high on, but I think that has more to do with like the interdivision bias in me. I don't want to admit he's good.
All right, here's another scenario for you. We're going to move on to another position. We're going to go to quarterbacks here. Patrick Mahomes winning MVP. Buy or sell?
Fantasy MVP or the NFL MVP?
NFL MVP.
Ooh, NFL MVP for Patrick Mahomes. He didn't win it last year, did he?
No.
Lamar Jackson did? Honestly, I don't even know if he got second place last year, in my opinion. It might be Derrick Henry got second place.
Derrick Henry beat out Mr. Mahomes, you say?
I think no, not this year. I think last year. I think Derrick Henry last year got second place over Mahomes. So I mean, the Raider fan in me wants to say no. I don't want to see that happen. But like the football fan in me, like Patrick Mahomes is insanely talented, and watching him play is like that's something you watch play and you're like, man, I'm glad he's not in my division. And then I'm like, oh wait, he is in my division. I have to play him twice a year.
All right, I just wanted to throw that out there because I know you're a Raider fan. But let's get back to fantasy. So, buy or sell Russell Wilson finishing in the top 5. Top 5 quarterbacks, Russell Wilson.
That's a tough one. Why don't you give your take of it? Let me think about that one for a sec.
I buy it.
You buy it?
I think so. He's actually ranked 6th.
Okay.
You want to hear the top 5? We have Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott.
Yeah, he's been getting a lot of love this year.
Kyler Murray.
Oh.
Deshaun Watson.
See, I'm not willing to put Kyler Murray ahead of Wilson yet.
I'm not either.
I think
not ready to put Dak in front of Wilson either.
Murray belongs in the top 8. I can't put him ahead of Russell Wilson, man. What's crazy is a name that really sticks out that you didn't mention, and I'm looking at the quarterback rankings now too. A name that is 13th on this list is Aaron Rodgers.
Oof.
Aaron Rodgers is the 13th quarterback?
Dude, he's 15th on mine.
He's where?
15.
Dude, he's behind Matthew Stafford. No chance. I'm sorry. I love watching Matthew Stafford play, especially when it's him and Megatron. No chance.
I'm a fan of Aaron Rodgers. I like Aaron Rodgers. But last year, I had Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady on my team. I ended up playing Tom.
I mean, I understand Aaron Rodgers had a year. He really did. But
guys on my
I don't
team.
know, man.
Aaron Rodgers was just putting up 10 points. At least Tom was being consistent and giving me like 15 to 20 points regularly.
That makes sense. So let me ask you a question. I'm going to throw a question on you now. I'm going to give you 2 players, and you got to pick one. Okay? Zach Ertz. I'm going tight end. Zach Ertz or Darren Waller?
Ertz. Easy.
How is that easy, though?
Easy.
You know,
I know you put Waller in there because you're a Raider fan and you love Waller. You tell me this every time we talk about tight ends. I know.
Waller's under.
Waller is definitely underrated right now. I'll say that.
Dude,
Okay, I'll give him that.
he's number
He
one
has pretty good stats. He's definitely. Let's see. Where's he ranked?
on the list I have. He's fifth, and Ertz is fourth.
He is
I said Waller against Ertz instead of Waller against Ingram because I think between Waller and Ingram, it's not really that close. But I think Waller and Ertz.
I will give it to Waller over Ingram.
Yeah, see, Waller just has. I mean, Waller's the number one.
Evan, right?
What'd you say?
Evan Ingram, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
but I'm gonna take Zach Ertz. I'm gonna take Zach Ertz over Darren Waller.
I see the argument because Zach Ertz is their number one receiver. They don't really have any other options out there. Philadelphia's wide receiver core has looked pretty rough for the past couple of years. And, I mean, that's one thing at least about the Raiders is they have – I mean, with drafting Henry Ruggs, their receiver core at least looks better than the Eagles. So yeah. I'll take that. So I could see the Ertz over Waller situation. Did you have any other questions?
Let's jump over to tight end. Who do you think? Here you go. This is not a buy or sell, but who do you think? I think it's obvious. You know, there's not many players in the tight end position that really wow you outside of maybe the top, 5. Maybe you can stretch it up to 10.
No, no top 10.
Say that again?
I'm not willing to go top 10.
No. I'm saying outside of the top 10 tight ends, there's not many really to choose from. That that position is really thin lately, especially these last couple of years. But what I want to know is, it's obvious there's 2 tight ends that you cannot pass on. We all know who they are: Travis Kelce,
Mark Andrews,
George Kittle.
Oh,
okay. No matter what, though, what I'm saying though, let's say you're playing a league where you don't need tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
2 guys that for sure are going to get drafted no matter what are going to be Kittle and Kelce, though.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So which one of those two do you think is going to have a better season?
Probably George Kittle. Actually, I don't know how I feel about that. See, I said Kittle right away because the Niners have had a lot of wide receivers go down with injuries, and kind of like the Eagles where Ertz is their best option, Kittle's their best receiver, right? He's their number one receiver in an offense that puts up a decent amount of points. But Kelce's probably the Chiefs' best receiver too. Is Tyreek Hill one of the better receivers? Yes, Tyreek Hill is an amazing receiver. But if you think about a pure possession style receiver, I think I'd rather have Kelce than Hill for a possession style play. If anything else in football, I'd rather probably have Tyreek Hill. I mean, he's just an amazing athlete, right? Yeah. But I'm going Kelce. Just Patrick Mahomes. I'll take the better quarterback when I can. But I want to go outside of the well-known tight ends. So Kelce, Kittle, Andrews, Ertz, Waller, Ingram, even Hunter Henry have all been drafted. And it's a league where you need to take a tight end. So outside of that top 8 or so tight ends, who are you taking?
Oh man, that's a hard one.
I know who I'm taking. It's not hard for me.
I think a lot of people are going to want to say something like Hayden Hurst, something like that. But there's a lot of weapons over there. Like we were mentioning earlier, there's a lot of mouths to feed. There's a good person to think of. Hooper. Austin Hooper could be a good one.
I'm going Hayden Hurst.
And Njoku hasn't been the same guy he used to be. Cleveland's been looking for a tight end to kind of fill in a void for a little while. He could potentially, outside of the top 10, it's a little rough. I'm
going Hurst or Gronk.
Gronk is in the top 10, though.
Oh, see, on mine, he's number 11.
Oh.
And I said outside of the top 8, too.
I'm on a PPR. He's ranked 9.
Okay. Well, for Hayden Hurst, though, let me give my Hayden Hurst argument here, right? So Hayden Hurst. Last year, the Atlanta Falcons had Austin Hooper, right?
Jack Doyle.
Jack Doyle. I don't want Jack Doyle.
I'm interested to see how Eric Eaton does in Pittsburgh.
I'm going Hayden Hurst.
He's always hurt though.
I'm going Hayden Hurst, dude. The Atlanta offense loves to throw to the tight end spot. Austin Hooper had a really solid year, and I think Hayden Hurst, a better tight end than Hooper. Hurst was just stuck behind Mark Andrews, who's a really good tight end.
Denver had a decent guy, and he didn't do bad.
Noah
He didn't
Fant.
do like extraordinary, but 10th on mine.
I'm going Hayden Hurst.
I think a lot of people would go that, but remember, like you were saying, there's a lot of mouths to feed in Atlanta.
But even with all those mouths last year, Austin Hooper got a lot of catches.
Mike Gesicki proved to be kind of a safety valve last season for them as well, a little bit. I don't know.
He scares me. I don't like it.
Because if you're going by the same kind of idea with Hayden Hurst, you can say this.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's almost time for us to wrap it up, but I want to get into something really quickly here. All right. So, do you have a fantasy team name? What are your top 3 favorite fantasy team names?
Ooh, man. Dude, I'm really bad with fancy team names. I honestly am. I'm like the worst at it.
I'm a Panthers fan, so obviously I'm a huge Cam Newton fan. I always have my team name be Lights, Cam, Action.
Okay.
But I'm gonna have to do that this year because we don't have Cam Newton anymore. But you know which one I'm liking? It's called Country. Take Mahomes.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be a good one. If you have Pat Mahomes on your team, you gotta go Country Road.
There's another one that I liked that said louder than my bite.
Yeah, I'm not really the most creative person when it comes to names. I love the puns on the players' last names. I always think those are funny. I mean, they're always they're
hooked on the feeling.
Yep, the classics. I'm usually the person that kind of names my team based on the situation. If my team starts doing bad, I try making a team name that pokes fun at being bad. And if my team's doing good, I think one year my team was doing really good, and I named my team Too Legit to Quit.
Can you dig it?
So I like just naming my team name based on the situation my team is in.
All right, here we go. Since you don't have a team name, I'm going to name your team.
Oh, yeah, let's go for it.
All right. Your team name is going to be Josh Jacobs Jingleheimer Smith.
That is so bad. So bad. I don't want to hear it anymore. But I'm curious.
All right, we got your team name.
Wait. I want to see if you're watching this and you have some really good team names, throw them down in the comments, and maybe me or Jacob will feature them on our fantasy team this year.
Yeah.
Go.
Before we sure that we give everybody opportunity to know that there is a virtual program scheduled to take advantage of, and take a look at this. Brian's going to pull this up in just a minute. There's a lot of cool activities on there, a lot of fun, different kind of category of activities. So there's art and science, technology, so on. There's something new, something different. There's some live classes on there. Make sure go to our website, sign up for all these activities. But yeah, if you want to, see more of us and interact with your coaches and have conversations with us, join us for the live sessions.
Yeah.
Brian,
follow us on all our social media pages. I mean, on Twitter, Facebook. We post when we're doing these YouTube lives. I actually don't have the schedule immediately ready right now. I'm sorry about that. But if you check out our Facebook page, we'll make sure to get it posted there over the weekend. And yeah, we have live classes almost every day at 4 o'clock, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. We'll have a class at 4 o'clock, so come check us out. We'll be back with our sports show next Friday. And other than that, hope you guys had a great day. Goodbye. Peace.